begin.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my show. I'm Dr. Lott, and I know it's been a minute since I've seen you guys. You know, in the wake of this pandemic that's going on right now, it's been pretty crazy. You know, pre-pandemic as well as the present pandemic, I've been inundated with patients, and I haven't had time to, do anything for you guys or see you guys in a while. And I do apologize for that. What's going on right now is pretty crazy, and now we're faced with COVID-19, i.e. coronavirus. And this is a novel virus. Now, a novel virus is a virus that's new and scientists are studying it. And we don't know exact timelines, like, for example, incubation periods and things of that nature. So it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy right now. People are dying. God bless all those that have lost loved ones and so forth and so on. As I know when it hits home, it hits hard. It's very hard. As far as like how to move forward with this from a healthcare perspective, there's a lot up in the air aspects to this, but the energy is out there to address and deal with this virus. I've given you episodes in the past regarding acupuncture and the importance of acupuncture, because to receive acupuncture treatments or, just to take herbs and things like that, the objective is balance, is yin and yang, is all about balance and putting the body at a homeostatic position in life. It helps the body, it enhances the immune system so that you can deal with viruses or pandemics that come along. Now, in the past, I would go over different meridians and different mental and physiological ailments that acupuncture can help with. And I hope, those that have subscribed and those that have even watched the videos have learned a little something about the importance of acupuncture, whereby now we're faced with a global pandemic. Those that I've treated that had weak immune systems in the past are counting their blessings. They're thanking me for it. I'm not trying to put the cape on and play any type of superhero or anything like that. I represent acupuncture and Chinese medicine to the best of my ability. I'm not saying that like I'm the best in the world or anything like that, but I've been trained by the best. I've been back and forth to China. And I've worked in several hospitals over there. I've learned from masters, and I'm still learning from masters. But I don't want to divulge from the topic of acupuncture and coronavirus, because there's going to be several series, back-to-back series, discussing acupuncture and Chinese medicine and the coronavirus. But we're going to start with an introduction to familiarize you guys with the coronavirus and acupuncture, the effects, or how this virus affects different meridians within the body. But okay, let's get into the discussion of coronavirus. What is the coronavirus? Now, the coronavirus is a form of severe acute respiratory syndrome. Now, being infected by this respiratory disease, in this case, the coronavirus, of course, you will present with symptoms such as dry cough, shortness of breath, and fever. Now, those tend to be the main symptoms of this disease, but other symptoms, i.e. joint pain or cold and flu symptoms, which can include headache, muscle aches, chills, diarrhea, sore throat, runny nose, can accompany these three main symptoms as well. Now, this infectious disease can progress into pneumonia and respiratory failure. Now, first, let me discuss what is a virus. A virus is basically small particles of a genetic material that are surrounded by protein, which are incapable of reproducing on its own. Now, viruses tend to depend on their host for survival. That host tends to be the organism in which it infects. Now, viruses can have an effect on several areas within the body. These areas can be your gastrointestinal system, your respiratory system, which is the case with the coronavirus. It can also affect the reproductive system as well. Now, it has been found that viruses are implicated in cancers as well. Now, let's talk about viral infections. Now, viral infections are considered the proliferation of the virus within the host. In this case, the host for the novel coronavirus, which is the cause of the present global pandemic, is the human body. Within the human body, a virus introduces genetic material into cells, robbing these cells of its internal makeup to produce more of its own particles. Now, when a virus is active, it copies itself, then it bursts open the host cell, allowing its contents to become free to infect other cells within the body. Now, when this happens, we tend to show symptoms of a viral illness as a result of cell damage and an immune response to these cells being damaged. Now, viral infections can be contagious, depends on the overall virus. In the case of the coronavirus, I've heard varying periods to the point that I can say that I'm not clear on how long, because the coronavirus is considered a novel virus, which by definition is a new virus. Now, when it comes to the coronavirus, it begins its attack via the upper respiratory tract, an example starting around the throat area. As discussed earlier, some people will begin to develop a sore throat, fever, and dry cough. The interesting part about the coronavirus is that it can have an incubation period as long as 20 days or more. Now, once it attacks the upper respiratory tract, it tends to migrate to the lungs and begins attacking certain cells with the alveoli of the lungs. Now, this attack tends to precipitate an inflammatory response within the alveoli. The body's immune response to the actions of the virus tend to compound the damage to the healthy cells of the alveoli. Now, for those that are not familiar with what alveoli are many tiny sacs inside the lung which allow for rapid gaseous exchange. This exchange is a release of carbon dioxide from the body and the intake of oxygen into the body. Now, it is the damage of the alveoli that tends to compromise the individual's ability to breathe. Now, the damage from the coronavirus inside the body, in this case, the lungs tend to lose their elasticity and become very rigid, which makes it difficult for a person to inhale. Now, from an acupuncture point of view, there are several meridians that are affected as a result of this virus. Now, those being the Sanjiao meridian, the lung meridian, the kidney meridian, the spleen and heart meridian as well. Now, these meridians are the main meridians, although other meridians can be affected as well due to father-son or mother-son relationships in acupuncture and Chinese medicine. In my next few episodes on acupuncture and the coronavirus, I will be discussing in detail the impact of the coronavirus effects on these meridians and why acupuncture is important for keeping the body balanced to have a strong immune system to face such viruses. Now, please go back and watch episodes on the meridians I just mentioned, as well as others, so that you are not in the dark when I'm discussing the effects of the coronavirus on these meridians. Now, I may discuss herbal recommendations, I may not, but if I were to recommend one herb, that would be Huang Qi, which is actually an astragalus root. Now, until my next episode, please subscribe to my channel so that you may stay informed and receive alerts on any new episodes. Now, until next time, acupuncture is my life. What's yours?